Elon Musk said he wanted to improve his AI chat box, Grok. So after an update over the weekend, users of his social media site X were shocked when they asked Grok questions, and it responded with anti-Semitic posts, which the site is actively, desperately trying to remove. On the heels of that, someone else used AI to impersonate Secretary of State Marco Rubio on messaging app Signal. Remember Signal? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then they contacted foreign officials, a congressperson, and a governor. Mm-hmm. So the question is, how worried are you?
Oh, God.
About the direction?
Well, there's no truth and objective truth anymore. Nobody knows what's true, what's not anymore. They changed the algorithm. I don't trust Elon Musk to be in charge of this anyway. Put Pope Leo there, maybe I would trust him. Yeah. But this guy...
You got to think about the product you're using. When you're talking about an electric car, Elon Musk's thoughts, feelings, and awful beliefs are not going to affect probably how your car runs. But when you're asking it questions, information, data, you got to think about who's running that. And a lot of what I will correct, though, Joy, is you're right about Grok, but the other AI kind of, they take some other guardrails. They have human interaction. They have oversight. They have transparency. They have people.
Yeah, but somebody can impersonate Marco Rubio.
Well, but that's what AI is capable of. So that's not AI misleading you. That's you having to check where you're checking it. Like, the problem with Signalgate was so many people raised the fact that these are leaders of the country and the global world, and they're kind of having side chats and massive discussions about military operations in unprotected spaces. So when you comes to Marco Rubio, it's kind of like someone who asks you for $10,000. If you're kind of like, oh, sure, it's on its way, like you're part of the problem. I think the way they discovered this was they sourced it. They went back to try to find Marco Rubio and check it. Whether it's information, data, someone calling you, with the power of AI, you have to be a self-advocate for sourcing things, checking things.
Seems to be, just to add something, that seems to be what is being thrown at American people now with, for example, Robert Kennedy Jr. He says now, well, you're on your own. You want to get the COVID vaccine, you want to get the measles vaccine, you do it, but we're not going to tell you it's safe. And that, to me, is not governing correctly. We need to know from the government what we're supposed to do, because they're supposed to do their due diligence. I'm not supposed to know if this is the real Marco Rubio or not.
No, but when it comes to the health thing, one thing I would recommend to people is I would never go to him for my health advice. So when you know who your government is, you bring it back local to your actual doctor.
So this Rubio story stood out to me because this is a vulnerability that's existed. And when I was working for Mike Pence in 2017, I found out that someone was impersonating me and reaching out to U.S. lawmakers. They were reaching out over text messages to a number of House members. And I only found out because my colleague at the time was dating Adam Kinzinger. They're now married and have a beautiful son. And she said, hey, somebody's contacting him. It's not your number. The Secret Service investigated it. The FBI did. And then when I went to the Department of Defense, the NSA looked into it. And what they determined, it was very likely someone spoofing my number, and it was likely tied to a foreign nexus. So some sort of an adversary trying to have a White House official communicating with congressmen, potentially to find them in a vulnerable situation. Right. But that was almost 10 years ago, 2017. Yeah. We are almost 10 years later, and AI is so much more sophisticated. We should be scared because it can improve.
Looking at Elon Musk, they talk about X. You know, Elon Musk was the first one that started the electric car. He's an expert for that. But Elon Musk, who we know is the richest man for now in the whole world. Elon Musk, who is a friend of, who used to be a very good friend of President Trump. Looking at Elon Musk, they say he came from South Africa and came to the United States to study, and later on he became a businessman, and we see the electric car that made him to become who he is, like to go down global. Everybody to know about him. He recently bought X, which was Twitter, but now it's called X. They talk about Elon Musk that the AI that just recently is coming into place. Mark Rube, someone impersonated him on X, on the AI, and just like him, So the women in the view were talking about the coming of AI. What do you really think about AI? Do you accept AI or do you not like AI? So what is it about AI? What is your own approach about AI? Because nowadays AI will impersonate the person, even your appearance, even your voice, even the way you write, everything. So the women in the views were saying that it's just scary. And somebody like Whoopi said that she doesn't really like it because she's old-fashioned. AI was not given for people to make choice. It was forced upon people. So she said she don't like something that was being forced upon her, and she doesn't really like it. She doesn't really use it, and she don't talk about Alexia. She said she doesn't use Alexia. So Joy Bea was just making just like a play that, you know, Alexia now is listening to what you are saying. What do you say that in Alexia is listening to what they are saying? So according to Joy Bea, so looking at what Mark Rube, so people were just saying that to impersonate someone, which is very correct. The woman in the Farah, who is the man in the view, Farah also said that like 2017 she experienced something like somebody impersonated her, and her cousin is the one who called to her attention, and she had to go to FBI. That had been a long time ago, and they sorted it out. They see that it was somebody who was trying to get to Congress, to get to those high power, and was passing through it. That's how people usually do for the AI, and they will find somebody who is vulnerable and they are going to use. So they were saying that even Bill Gates also approved that AI is the future. Although people are laying back, some people don't really want to happen, some people don't really like it, but they are saying that people should just get up and embrace it. But most people don't want to embrace it. So the women in the view were saying that it is a way forward. If you don't embrace it, you're going to be left behind. So it's a must for everyone in the United States to embrace it. Somewhere like Whoopi said that compared to like Europe, other part of the world, the United States is falling behind, because the United States don't really, like just saying that, Whoopi give an example that looking at their children, they don't want to protect many things that they used to stand for. But in this present regime, this present government, they have been laying back and they are not even focusing on what they have to focus. So can you give me your own opinion? What do you think? Do you think that with the AI, if you don't embrace it, you're going to be laid behind? Or do you think that as the years are going by, the AI is not really going to be active? Is it going to be productive? Because some people are even afraid that the AI is taking away people's jobs, because people cannot have, because AI does the work that humans do. Can I see your own opinion? Do you agree or disagree? Thank you very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and share the video. God bless you.